Hi, good morning or good afternoon. I'm Daniel from On Finality, and I'm here today to show you our new AI agent that we've been working on, the future of intelligent Web3 support in the Polkadot ecosystem, as well as a general call to the Builder Party community to build more Polkadot MCPs, which could help us and help everybody else in the community as well. So just give a couple of seconds for more people to join. I'll start with a few words about On Finality. So we're a blockchain native cloud provider, and we're making blockchain infrastructure smarter. We've been working with Polkadot since the beginning. Our team was winners of the very first Web3 grants back in 2019 with Polkadot, and members of our core team also won the very first Polkadot Hackathon. So we've been involved, as I mentioned, with about 70 Polkadot networks so far, as well as working very closely with Parity themselves. And it's great for us to now be on the other side of a hackathon, to be able to share new ideas with new teams coming on and hopefully inspire the next generation of what's going to be built on Polkadot. So many of you might be familiar with our services because of our RPC endpoints, but we also offer a range of services. We have a staking service where you have your own white label nodes running, your white label validators or collators running on Finality. We have our data indexing services where you can run subquery or subgraphs to build your dApps. We have dedicated nodes, so you might want to run a node for indexing large amounts of data or for running a bridge or enterprise software. And we also have a substrate prototyping tool. So nowadays that might be called one-click rollouts as a service, for example, rollups as a service. We have a talk a couple years back in Sub-Zero, which might also help for any participants in this hackathon who are looking to run a new substrate network. And today we're here to talk about our new product in private beta, which is our AI agent. So we believe that AI is going to be the next layer of the Polkadot ecosystem. AI is already reshaping how we use our technology. So in the US, 45% of adults are already using tools such as ChatGPT and copilots. And we believe that it's even more useful in Web3. So I think it's no secret that we have a way to go in terms of the user experience of Web3. Trying to get somebody who's new into the ecosystem to bridge tokens, perform swaps, download multiple wallets, it's quite tricky. So I believe that Sam Altman at the moment, his main task is working on general intelligence. And once he achieves that, his next task is going to be to work out how to build an AI that can operate Polkadot.js. So this brings us into community management. So every network team, I'm sure you know, is managing Discord and Telegram channels with thousands, sometimes millions of participants. And they're getting the same questions again and again. I'm sure most of you would remember back in the day, if you had a very niche question, you found a niche forum on the internet, and you answered your question there, made a forum post, very kindly explaining yourself, your background, what you're looking for, what you tried so far that didn't work, and then at the end of call, like, please help me with this issue. And you go to sleep, and the next day you get a reply, and the reply just says, this question has already been asked, search first, thread closed. And it doesn't leave you feeling very happy. So we're learning from that. We know that people are coming in. 70% of questions coming into these communities have already been asked, but we're trying to do better. We're trying to make people feel more welcome, and this is resulting in teams getting exhausted managing with this volume of users. So that's where the On Finality AI agent comes in. So we're providing community support that never sleeps. Our AI agent is reading your documentation, it's reading your website, pulling that all together alongside live data, which is provided in collaboration with our partners Subquery, to be able to answer not only the same questions that have been asked 70 times before in your Discord channel, but also asking very specific questions about node setup or about network setup. So an example here, somebody is new to delegating, they delegate some tokens out to validators, but a few days later they're not receiving any rewards. In that case, they can ask the AI agent, and it's going to be able to ask for their wallet address and pull out the specific reason why they aren't earning rewards and what they should do next. So I'm going to kick into a demo here of the setup of our AI agent. So if you're not already familiar with On Finality's platform, this is the landing page. We have API apps on the left, which is where you can get your own private RPC endpoints. And the new section we're looking at today is AI agents. Now this is in private beta, so if anybody wants to use it for the hackathon, please send an email. Our contact's down the bottom and we'll make it available for you. Today we'll be making an agent for the subquery network. And the first thing I want to do is connect our AI agent to the subquery network documentation. So we have various data sources that we can connect to here. One is a file upload, and that's if you've provided any manual prompting. But in today's demo, we're going to be doing absolutely no prompting and no training, and just to show you how easy this is to set up. We can connect to websites, and we can connect to the GraphQL agent, which is talking to subquery and subgraph datasets. I'm just connecting to their documentation and their website. And now we're going to connect to subquery's datasets. So I hope this part is not going to be confusing, but subquery provide an SDK for indexing data and also the subquery network, which is a decentralized way of many node operators to index that same data or to use their decentralized to serve the decentralized RPC endpoints. So what we have here is a subquery project, which is indexing data on the subquery network. Okay, and while that's setting up, that's going to take about 5 minutes, so I'm going to jump back and explain a few core concepts of what we've built here. So just a very quick crash course for anybody in this community who's going to be building an AI agent. I'm sure you're familiar with RAG. It stands for retrieval, which means we've got a vector database of all the knowledge available. And when a question comes in from the customer, we retrieve any information that could be relevant. So just selecting the very relevant parts of information. We're augmenting that, so that means attaching it to the user's original context for their question. Then your LLM is generating an answer by combining the user's general context about the question along with anything important from the RAG. And that provides a very clear facts-based answer to the user based on the documentation or based on what you've provided there. So you typically think of the RAG as static data, but in our case, for example, with website crawling, it's a bit more intelligent to that. So we're always checking for any changes to the website, in which case we crawl it again. And also when we're crawling, we're not just storing the whole web page with all of its HTML in the RAG. We're using our LLM in the first place to summarize the information there. So there's still a lot of work going into RAG and improving the RAG services. So while you can think of a RAG as static data, tools are often considered for accessing dynamic data. So we can think of a tool that can provide your AI agent with token price and trade volume. Tools also help AI agents to perform actions. So if you wanted to purchase a token on-chain, for example, you would use a tool to do so. So here we've just got a very simple bot set up, which is designed to help you with large purchase orders without slippage. So it will get the token price and trade volume regularly. It will check the RAG to see what your strategy is and how you want it to perform. And then based on that information, token price, trading value, and its instructions, it will make slow purchases throughout the day to get the right price that you're looking for. So MCPs is a model context protocol, and it is really just a way of packaging various tools and also packaging RAG inside it. So with our previous example, we could consider that to be an exchange MCP, which has the tools available for token price, trade volume, purchase, and sell. This makes it very easy for different AI agents to use different tools that are all available out there. Some of them are open sourced, and some of them might require that you sign up for an API key first and pay a subscription to use it. And And then when it gets a bit too much, so I'm sure you've had experience trying to talk to ChatGPT and you've got a long conversation going and it starts to go in the wrong direction or it starts to forget things you've asked it in the past. We call that prompt overload, which is where the context is just getting too large, something might be conflicting, and the AI agent stops performing as you'd expect it to. So one way to solve that is by building compartmentalized purpose-built agents, which can then communicate with each other. So in our previous example, we could turn that purchasing agent into a separate consulting agent, and other agents can know when to use it. Now, this consulting agent for purchasing tokens uses its own RAG, uses its own tools, its own MCP, and is everything we talked about before, but now it makes it available for any other AI agents to use. And that means the first AI agent doesn't need to understand anything about purchasing tokens and doesn't need to confuse or muddle with the training that it has available. So let's jump back now into the demo we've set up. Okay, and to put it into context, we have, as we mentioned, our website, which is taking website data and putting it into a RAG after condensing it and pulling out the most relevant information to our project. And we have a consulting agent, the GraphQL agent, built by the subquery team. So this agent already has taken a look at the data that the subquery network has available for us, and it has pulled out its capabilities. So it's understood that inside this data, I'm going to be able to get project deployment and index information. I'm going to be able to analyze error-based rewards, track delegation flows, staking changes, and also monitor for service agreements and query spend. So this domain capabilities here is what subquery's GraphQL agent is telling On Finality agent it can perform. Looks like we're ready now. We've finished crawling both of the pages. So I'll get into it in the playground. So we're starting with an example of a question that might be asked 70 times in the course of a few weeks in your Discord channel. And in this case, it's our AI agent has answered. This is coming from one of the website pages. So you can see what's truly impressive here. I'm sure you've all seen chatbots before, but what's really amazing, and the reason we're showing this demo live, is to see from setup just a few minutes ago how it's already answering these questions with absolutely no training needed. But we'll go a bit deeper now. So a node operator in the subquery network is a decentralized runner of the subquery indexes, or RPCs. And I'm asking, what are the top performing operators? Okay, and our AI agent has realized, based on the context provided by the subquery AI agent, that it does have that information. It's delegated across to that agent, and it's answered the question now, pulling out some node operators that had the highest APY, annual percentage yield. So we'll choose one of these now and ask a further question. Just for anybody interested in building AI agents, we have a tool considered a loop pattern in the subquery GraphQL agent, where it first tries to make a query. It then checks to see if the query is valid, and if not, a separate tool tells it to rewrite the query and how to make changes. Then it sends it down into the GraphQL query and even has a chance again to make changes based on the question. It's telling me that that node operator does not run projects anymore, so we'll try with a different one. this one is running a project. So we've got the top 5 deployments that they're running here now. Now I'm going to lead a follow-on question, and this is probably not going to be able to give me the answer that I want, but we will try it. Okay, so I'm going to ask it for the name and details of these projects, and here's the highlighter point. When you're preparing data for AI agent consumption, it's worth considering to make sure that everything is collected in one place. So a common pattern across blockchain is to have very basic information in the blockchain, obviously, with an IPFS lookup, and inside that IPFS interplanetary file store, that's where you could find the full details. So that might be where you find the name and the description. That design pattern is to save space on the blockchain. But when you're building a data set and you want it to be used by an AI agent, you should be pulling in any information external, for example, to IPFS, and considering bringing that into your data set as well so it can answer the question. So in this case, it has been unable to tell me the name of these projects because those are stored on IPFS. So just something worth thinking about. I'm going to touch on that a little bit later, how you can prepare your data to be used by AI. But yeah, once again, we have not given this AI any prompting or any training at all on the specific data set, as you've seen, and this is all coming from the subquery GraphQL agent. I'll quickly jump us across to Discord as well. So I'm deploying my agent to Discord now. This will be coming to Telegram, and also a chat widget in the future if you wanted to add it alongside your own documentation. Okay, and now our On Finality agent has joined the party. And so I'm going to start by asking it a question here. Sorry, Discord in my browser is lagging a little bit. So just some context, boosting in the subquery network is a way to, similar to delegating, but it's a way to show that you really want to get information about this specific data indexer. So boosting provides more rewards to anybody who is running this data indexer or this RPC endpoints. So here the context is a little bit different. So when we're building a Discord AI agent, we need to consider a few things. One is that we should only answer questions which are relevant to its training or relevant to questions it can answer, to avoid kind of spamming the channel with incorrect answers or just saying, sorry, I can't help you there. So this time it's identified that it can answer questions about boosting, but that it needs more information from me. This is also unique to the Discord integration specifically, that because it is threaded, if I was to respond as a general message, it wouldn't continue that same context and it wouldn't know what I was talking about. But because I reply here, my wallet, it should know that I'm continuing that same conversation. Okay, so you can see there, it's taken my wallet address and gone back to the previous question, added them together, and now it's got my boosted projects. And actually, it's also mentioned here, this is the IPFS hash, and that's where you can find the extra information if you did need it. I'm sure somebody could also build an MCP for providing IPFS data as well. Cool, so we'll jump back into the presentation now. But yeah, I really hope by showing this demo live, it's really shown people how quick this is to set up and how incredibly powerful it is with very little work. So we really hope that people come away from this and ask for access and start trying it out, coming up with the ideas of what you can add on to it. So that's really the crux of this presentation, is that we can't do it alone. So we have a lot of ideas as we've been going through this in terms of the type of tooling that we will need to be able to support the Polkadot ecosystem. We are already working on, alongside with subquery, the GraphQL agent, which is for providing data and index data and talking to index data. We are underway on a substrate RPC MCP, so that's going to be a substrate MCP that can ask basic questions on chain from live from the node instead of from the index data. So thinking, what's my wallet balance, for example. But we do have a lot more ideas, and we're really going to need help from the whole community here. So a few ideas that we have for hackathon participants, if you're interested in building something in AI, it could be an onboarding tool. So imagine you're joining a Discord channel, and in a private channel with the AI agent, it asks you to start performing a few simple interactions on chain, maybe on the testnet. So that could be getting tokens from a faucet, then sending them to a different address. It could be delegating. It could be setting an identity on chain. Just going through the basics, setting up the wallet, and being able to verify on chain that you've actually done those steps would be very handy for setup. In compliance and security, so AI agents can also detect fraud and monitor for suspicious patterns. And if you're managing a treasury, or you're managing, say, your company spend using a shared wallet, they'll be able to detect when spending patterns are unusual and put a stop to that. So potentially safeguarding your funds. In DeFi, people really do need help bridging, swapping, setting up with different wallets. It is unfortunately quite difficult. So if anybody can think of a way to improve that process and make it easier for people to buy sometimes obscure tokens, that would be very much appreciated. But also providing information from DEXs is going to be incredibly powerful. So an MCP or AI agent that can provide this swap information on hydration, for example, in the Polkadot community would be very much appreciated. So other than building new MCPs, we also have realized in the process of setting up and preparing a demo here that a lot of the data that we have available is not structured for AI agents. So especially in the substrate or blockchain communities, we've seen people indexing large data sets, but putting the information into a column or a table just called extrinsics or contract calls. And I'm sure their intelligent engineers are able to work with that data and build the apps that you need. But it's a bit too much for an AI to do that without extra training. So it's simply preparing the data in the best case way. We have tables that are properly named, columns that are properly named with the data available as it's needed, and also pulling in extra sources like IPFS information and refreshing that regularly. That will make a world of difference and could already be plugged into the subquery GraphQL agent. So an example here could be if you wanted to get staking delegation and rewards information across all the Polkadot parachains, put it into a multi-chain subquery project. You just need to connect it to the MCP and you'd have a fully working demo to present at the end of this hackathon. Taking it a bit further, we could have a consulting agent, which is the substrate wallet. You might want to use that for helping people to perform transactions on chain. And there is a design pattern for preparing the transaction and then asking the user to confirm it and check it in your browser and talisman first. But it might also just be a tool to provide balances and transaction history across all Polkadot parachains, which would be useful in a world of different use cases. So if you do decide you want to build an MCP or agent or help us to prepare some great data for the whole community, yeah, we do very much hope that you will win the hackathon and you'll be able to get a reward for that. I know the Web3 Foundation also has grants, I believe up to $100,000 grants available for participants to apply to afterwards. But the ultimate goal will be to have a sustainable product. So if you're looking to bring this to market, it takes more than just coding. So you have to work out your subscription plan with an API key. You have to work out where to host your MCP or your agent or your data, pricing, marketing, sales, support. It does take a whole company to run this kind of tooling. So that's where the On Finality AI marketplace comes in. So as you would have seen, we had 4 different types of MCPs and agents available at the start. So we are inviting everybody who is part of this hackathon. We will be able to put you up on the marketplace and get you to market instantly. We'll be able to connect you to thousands, tens of thousands of On Finality users. We have revenue sharing available, so we can help with the pricing, and whenever anybody uses your MCP, a portion of that revenue goes back to you. Another benefit of hosting with On Finality with your AI is that we do have the index data and the RPC nodes and our LLM all in the same server rack. So you do get faster responses and be able to perform more powerful analytics using On Finality. And we'll also help you with your marketing. So we are offering this because we want to encourage people or help people to see that there's a path forwards to building a sustainable profit. But we are, just to be clear, we are completely open that if you want to list on our marketplace, you can also open source your tool and you can also list on other marketplaces. Absolutely no problem. What we're asking here is for help to help build all these tools that we need, and Polkadot needs, Parity needs, everybody else in the ecosystem needs these tools to improve our user interface. A very quick other point is we are building the community support agent as a full end-to-end flow, a complete product, but people are able to access individual components of these as with any subscription plan with On Finality. So if you do host an AI agent with On Finality, it's not limited to just what we've shown today. Anybody is going to be able to sign up, put in their API key, and then use it in different agents, different contexts, maybe a trading bot that they're building, for example. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, and we're just about to wrap up now. A few more things that I would like to talk about. So first of all, for all Polkadot Builder Party participants, all of our services are 100% free. And we have a voucher code here, Polkadot Cloud. So please put that into your On Finality indexing or On Finality platform nodes services. Email supported On Finality as well, please, when you do, so that we know that you're working on the hackathon, and we can make sure that all of your services are completely free. Also email the same address if you would like early access to the AI agent or any questions you have about our products. I would also like to mention, for any teams who are building, who are brave enough to be building new substrate networks, new parachains, for example, as part of this hackathon, that On Finality does have a blockchain accelerator, which we offer a minimum of 3,000 credits to teams building new networks. So you can use that on your validators, you could use that for your AI agents, data indexing services, or RPC services for the community, with absolutely no strings attached. So to put that into context, for a small, for example, a small test chain, those credits would give you about 6 months of public RPC support to your community to help them to build apps without having any cost on their side. We're also offering personal engineering support. We're here to help everybody in this hackathon, but going forwards, if you're part of the blockchain accelerator, that will continue. And we also have blockchain native expertise, especially in substrates. We've helped teams like Avail, Peak, Moonbeam, A-Star, and others to avoid infinite pitfalls. So yeah, we are very excited to see what you're building in the hackathon. We hope that somebody is going to be building some AI tools that we can help you to demo, help you to get it into our products so you have a full end-to-end presentation. Please do contact me personally, daniel.valinovich@onfinality.io. And there is now a chance if anybody has any questions. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I really do hope that we've inspired somebody to help us to build more AI tooling on the Polkadot ecosystem. Thank you so much.